Today we're gathering around the campfire with Julie, a QHS member whose life is as exciting and grounding as a hike through the mountains. But what trails did she tread to reach these heights? Let's trek into the wilderness and discover the adventures that led Julie to where she is today.
Hi, I'm Julie, and I was born in Gardena, California. My father is Slovakian. My mother is half Italian and half Sicilian. My great aunt actually came on the the maiden voyage on the Queen Mary from Slovakia. So that's kind of cool there. As my mother was Italian, she basically ruled the house. So I'm the youngest of three. I don't know, I was always an honor student throughout school. But I remember when I was in grammar school, I remember standing in line and just wishing I was somebody else. I don't know why. But I always thought, I wish if I just closed my eyes, I could be somebody else and just be somebody else. And that stuck in my mind because I guess I was insecure or something. I don't know. I was never bullied. I was tall in grammar school, and so I was one of the taller ones, and I came into puberty at a young age. And then when I went to junior high, lo and behold, I stopped growing. So I stayed about the same height. I'm only 5'2". Then everybody else shot up past me. As far as, my mother was very controlling and restrictive. As far as, there was a lot. It was a very dysfunctional family, actually. My father was the one that kept it together. They didn't pay for college or anything like that. And when I was in high school, I wanted to be a forest ranger. But at that time, my counselor discouraged me from going into it because she said, this really isn't a field that women go into. You're going to be going to school for so long, and then you're going to have to wait to get a job. You're probably not going to be until your 30s till you get there, So I was like, well, I don't know. I really didn't have any other goals. That's what I wanted to be. And so I just got out of school. Well, actually, I started working when I was in 10th grade and at Carl's Jr. And then from there, I went to Gemco. And then when I was like 17, I got a job at Prudential Insurance Company. And I started off there as a clerk, of course. And then I moved my way up to a claims adjuster. And I worked there for 9 years until they got out of the insurance business. They moved that back east. And then I went to work for a couple other insurance companies. And then I got a job working for California Audit Systems. And that was like my big, whatever. I've never been married. I was engaged twice. It didn't work. So obviously it wasn't for the good. Otherwise, I probably would have been divorced. But as time went on, what I was going to say was in that as an auditor, everything was going great. And then one day my boss got killed in a plane crash in his plane with his son. So that was the end of that whole big break. And so I started applying again in insurance companies, and I kept getting, you're overqualified, underqualified. So it was just like, and I was getting tired of that. So eventually I went ahead and I applied for the Forest Service, and they called me back and they were going to hire me as a firefighter. And I was like, a firefighter? And I was like 36 at the time. And they said I had a pass the pack test, which was 50 pounds of weight, and you had to go, 3 miles within 40 minutes or something like that. And so then I was like, okay, well, I gotta start working out here. So I was living in Fraser Park at the time, and I got my sister's backpack and I put 50 pounds of weight in it. And I just used to go up and down the mountain with this on. So when I went for the actual test, this was in Ojai, and it wasn't with a backpack. They just gave me a vest, and it had all these weights in it. And because I'm short, the weights went down to my knees almost. So that was like another experience trying to do this thing with the weights on my legs instead of my back. But I passed it, and I even was faster than a couple guys. And so I made it. And so I was, of course, a firefighter off of Engine 51 out of Lake Casitas. My captain was a female. And so I did it. So I was like that. I was really proud of myself for doing that. And I did that for 1 year. And then when I had my physical taken, at the end of that year, I had 2 compression fractures on my spine. And I was 37 at the time, and that's usually the retirement age for a firefighter. And so they suggested I not fight fire anymore. But that was okay, because it was really hard, because I was on an engine with 6 young guys. They're like 23, whatever. And they're like, okay, for the PTs today, we're going to do this, and we're going to run 5 miles. 5 miles? Oh my God, I was never a runner. I used to have to psych myself out, and I'll just be going. I always came in last, and by the time I made it into the other office or the other station, the guys are already showered and ready to go. And I'm like, so I had to rush and whatever. But it was okay. At least I did that. So then I started working on the recreation side, and I became a forest protection officer. And I did that until 2006, when they had a big layoff. And because, they didn't have much money in that year. And I had started my own landscaping business, and I was working as a landscaper. I was living in Fraser Park at the time. So I was renting a duplex, and my landlord became really sick, and he lived downstairs. So I was his caretaker, basically. And I also maintained the property and everything. And when COVID started, he had a heart condition, and he had bone cancer. And this was just when it was hitting. And I heard him calling me, because I was upstairs, and I came down, and he's like, I can't get up, I can't get up. I said, well, let me call the ambulance, And so I called the ambulance, and the guy was freaked out. And it was like he didn't want to go in the house. He's going, he looks like he's okay. Sir, are you okay? He's yelling from the front of the doorway, are you okay? And he goes, I'm hungry, And because he said he was hungry, and but he couldn't get up. And so the guy goes, he's just hungry, just give him some. I'm going, you didn't even check you didn't do anything, right? And so the guy ends up leaving, and I look at my landlord. He's going, what the heck was that all about? I said, I don't know. I said, but I'm going to call your family. They need to get down here and come see you, because this doesn't look good. So I finally begged them to come down, and they came down, and they called the ambulance again. I said, you call them, because I'm not going to, because I don't like the way they handled it at all. They wouldn't even come in the room. So the same guy ends up coming, and the firemen are there. And so I'm standing out there talking to the family, and like an hour goes by, and then they get they're making shifts, he went into cardiac arrest, okay? Because they made him keep the mask on, And so he died in the back of the ambulance. And when that all happened, for me, that was a really traumatic time in my life. I was coming down here, taking care of my mom all the time, driving down. And then she ended up, to make a long story short, my sister ended up taking my mom down when I wasn't there, because we were talking about me moving down here to take care of her because my sister's married and whatever. And so anyways, I ended up moving down here, and that's what I was doing. So as far as emotional, I need I think I need to get, grounded and everything together. And as far as everything that's wrong with me, I had a cholecystectomy when I was 23, and I have a ventral hernia that's about the size of like a softball on my right here. I have a femoral hernia. I have COPD. And I have a really bad bunion with a hammer toe that's just crazy. I can't wear shoes. I had a heart attack. So my heart, I feel, is okay now. When I heard about this quantum healing system, I got really excited, because I was into frequency already, as far as sound frequency. And I know the sound frequency works because it works for my breathing and other things. And I was really excited about this. And so what's going to happen is I'm really going to redo my whole life. I'm going to have kids now. I'm going to get married. And I want to be involved with the quantum healing system somewhere, everywhere I can. And I'm just really excited. I can't wait till I get the V9. And you guys are my family. So I'm looking forward to all this. And I have a cat that's, she's 19, and she's got kidney failure. And I know that's going to heal her too. So I'm really happy about this whole thing, and I'm looking forward to it. And I know it's going to work. And so that's that.
Join us on the Prequel, where every story matters and every voice is heard. Because here at QHS, we're all about healing, learning, and growing together.